Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. And look, the Bom Dia Daily news, weather, language, culture, well-being in Portugal for the first 20 minutes or thereabouts. And a Bom Dia Daily deal as well. 10% off today. So stay tuned for that. Remember, of course, we were introducing you to the idea of 25 cents a cup coffee via the capsule deal at well, notwithstanding a little bit of environmental controversy, that deal, 32 euros, 25 cents a cup, because you get 128 capsules with that machine. Yes, they want you hooked, don't they? And we got a 10% off deal, which I'll tell you more about in just a moment. Hope you're well. And looking forward to your company for the next hour, 8:20. Sarah Davie will be joining us from Spartan FX. Let's see what the turbulence in the markets has meant for currency. Wasn't there a massive tech drop this morning? Tech values dropped as a result of a Chinese AI announcement. Let me know if that's come across your radar. I was up at 6 this morning, awoken by the storm. I believe it's Evo that's causing depression. Evo. I've got a neighbor called Evo who I think may well be keeping a low profile in the next couple of days. But yeah, the barbecue was blown over here at Casa Munson overnight. I'd usually sleep through these things, and this morning I was moved to get out of bed, make sure all the battened down hatches were in position, and that the pets were okay. Kids slept through it as well, thankfully. So it's been a very turbulent morning and disturbed morning so far. What is it like where you are? Good morning to you, Coach Jackie. João Ernesto. Good to see you, and come back to your comments in just a little while. So I've got a great news story for you as well. Oh, Marion Geray, she will be saying something like, friends, Romans, Gumpers, please lend me your ears. We're going to do some ear massage, which is going to be a little bit difficult with these bad boys on, but let's see what happens a little bit later on. Stay tuned. If you need to chill out and relax a little bit, we're going to do some relaxing. I'm guessing it's relaxing ear massage with Marion Geray from Walksperia at 8:40. And I think Sarah's going to be hanging around for that. Do you remember? She's got elf ears, hasn't she? And she'll be massaging them if she stays with us from 8:40 when Marion joins us. Let's play Spot the Duck, shall we? There's two on the screen at the moment. Bom Dia ALEGRIA Gumpers from T-Duck, and Mike's just in as well. You're in the bay tomorrow, you're not, Mike? And maybe tuned in to Munson and the Portugueser tonight at 7 o'clock. Me and the Geezer. There's going to be some shake-ups, Portugal Club, weekly meeting, and it's going to be changing for 2025, and Munson and the Geezer will be changing evening soon as well. Hard to keep up as there's so much turbulence and change around at the moment. Get with the program, stay on the surfboard, ride those waves of change and transformation, everybody. And yes, if that's all a bit too much, I want to say a little bit more about our Valentine's weekend. Something to look forward to beyond the cold, damp and dark and storms on the 15th of February. So I'll come back to that. Getting a lot of requests for information. Yes, I'm a little bit like the man who sat on the bacon slicer. I'm a little bit behind, got behind with my work on that particular gig. Tell you more about that in just a moment. After we've had a look at the principal news story this morning, which I thought was fascinating, actually. Which career is most aspirational in Portugal? Now, this is in conjunction with, it's one of those press release PR-led stories, but interesting nonetheless, because I think it is based on some. Is James around? He is our scientific authenticator, adjudicator this morning. Which career is most aspirational in Portugal? Can you guess? Would you like to guess? And from your own country, I've got a few questions for you around this, actually. What did you want to do if you'd had Google when you were a kid? Which, I mean, just for a moment, remember that you didn't. You probably had a careers officer at school. Is that how that works in the US as well as it does in the UK and wherever else you might be tuned in from? What did you want to be? What do you think is Portugal's most aspirational career for those currently searching? And if you could have all your years again, what would you do? Would you be a YouTube influencer? a DJ. That ranks quite highly. Those were not choices when I sat in front of I can't remember. What agreement did I come to? Was it joining the services? Possibly. The military. Remitly's latest international report has revealed the world's most sought after careers, including Portugal's, by analyzing Google searches for over 415 careers. The research analyzed the number of Google searches in 185 countries for the term how to be a, which is quite a good place to start, isn't it? How to be a. And they came up with this chart here, which makes for a lovely poster, actually. Topping the global list is being a pilot. And that was definitely one of I wanted to be a helicopter pilot. I remember my auntie Dorothy telling me, and I was going to land on the village green in my helicopter and whisk her away. She really liked that. Close behind that, would you believe, is becoming an attorney. And these are, the pilot searches were 432,000. The attorney searches were nearly 400,000 at 393,000. And how to be a prosecutor, how to be a judge were also in the top 10, in 8th and 10th respectively. And the third was how to be a police officer. These are general searches for the world. Should we go into Portugal then and see that, most interesting, did you get this right? In Portugal, the top career choice is to become a professor, highlighting a strong preference to educate and inspire. Not entirely surprising. A high value placed, of course, on education here in Portugal. Germany and Belgium also shared an interest in education, with the same profession being their #1 dream career. Globally, how to be a professor garnered 175,000. It's not that many, is it, from 185 countries and all those people searching? Anyway, 175,420 annual searches on how to be a professor, securing its position among the world's most popular dream jobs. So there you go. We'll have a look at shout out where you come from, and I will go to your country's top aspiration. Oh yes, fantastic. Thank you for that video as well, Ernesto. I think that's one of your favorite places by the sea, isn't it? The waves did not disappoint, albeit breaking a bit further offshore than usual. Let's see if we can squeeze that in this morning as well. Very refreshing and bracing. Thanks for thinking of us as well, Ernesto. Pam, great news. Emma joining us tomorrow. We won't have too much language and culture this morning because we're going to have a special with Emma tomorrow, 40 minutes of a language. And inevitably, language and culture intertwined. Emma, of course, focusing on the language and teaching the language, and somebody you've not met before on this screen. Looking forward to talking to her tomorrow morning. Lee on Thursday, and I think Bobby might be joining us on Friday as well. Catching up with Bobby O'Reilly on Friday, possibly, if he can fit us into his busy schedule. Morning, Hugh, as well. I thought I was reading Viagra there, John. There were 7 to 8 meters. I see 7 to 8 meters, and I see what I think is Viagra. It's actually Viana, not Viagra de Castelo, but Viana de Castelo by my weather app. So naturally, I had to go see. Fantastic. Go see the sea. Right. Let's have a look then in your country of origin. Please shout it out, and we'll have a look at what your young fellow countrymen and women want to be in this day and age. It wasn't like that when I was a kid. In fact, we didn't say kid even, did we? When I was a youngster, that's the old Giffer word, isn't it? For young people. Right. Let me go to dream jobs around the world, and we'll have a closer look at the map then and see what the aspirations are of young people today. Right, here we go. In my country of origin, the UK, what do they want to be? Doctors, I wonder, attorneys? No. In England, how to be the top search there was YouTuber. Wow. Okay, well, that's pretty. I'm a YouTuber, and I find that disappointing because, like, it's okay. It's I enjoy being a YouTuber, but for a national top aspiration, come on, UK. Ireland is DJ. Northern Ireland is YouTuber also. Wales, paramedic. There you go. Well done. Something truly useful to the community, paramedic. And Scotland, YouTuber as well. It's fascinating, isn't it? As we sweep around Europe, electrician in Norway, professor in Germany. There you go. Marion will be proud. Architect in Sweden. That makes sense, doesn't it? And the top choice pilot is reflected in Slovakia, Czech Republic as well. Hungary, people want to be DJs. And if we look at the rest of the world, you will see that in Australia and India and New Zealand, how to be a DJ. Is that for a job, though, or is it as a hobby? I don't know. Canada, also DJ. The top choice aspiration in the United States, flight attendant. That's people wanting to get out, isn't it? At the root of that. Then, interestingly, in South America, look at all of these countries where people want to or are interested in becoming attorneys. That's fascinating, isn't it? Is that being professionally right? Is that what that means? Because your job choice, of course, says a lot about your personality, doesn't it? People who want to fly away, people who want to police other people who want to prosecute other people. But if you go around South America, starting with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Venezuela, all want to be attorneys, as they do in Peru, Martinique, and Bolivia as well. Brazil. And Argentina, a notable exception. Top search is actress. Would that be boys and girls? And nobody uses the word actress anymore, do they? I would have thought it's just universally actor now, is it not? But there you go. Oh, and notably, here in Portugal, people want to people search professors, and it has been what's the word? Extended. There's a better word than that, but it's the correlated. No, there's an even better word than that. But in Portugal, the top search is how to be a professor, whilst in Spain, it's how to be an attorney, as it is in France, I think. France the same. So there we go. Teachers in Portugal, this side of the Iberian Peninsula, and in Spain, prosecutors. Possibly. That's only one part of being an attorney, isn't it? But there you go. I thought that was interesting. I hope you do too. None of you are owning up to what you wanted to be, or if you had your time over again, what you wanted to be, what you'd like to be. Oh, a very suspect. Look, suspect and pole are just two words that go together naturally now. The careers talk at my school explained where you go to sign on. It was the 80s. Oh, that is grim. That's almost depressing as Depression Evo, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. The whole of Africa wants to be a lawyer. No, that's not true. You've slanted that angle on it, Peter. Good morning to you. That's the top search. That doesn't mean that all of Africa wants, and I'm still searching for the word where you escalate, not correlate or escalate, but take some data and then make it mean something, which I think is what you've done there, Pete. I'm from Wales. The young Welsh all want to grow up to be the next Howard Marks. They pot of luck. I knocked him off. Oh, they're out of luck. I knocked him off the top spot. Is that the notable dealer of the devil's lettuce, Howard Marks? Good morning, everyone. No, how are you? Take care of the weather. It's really bad. It is. It woke me up at 6 o'clock this morning. And Pete, bless you. Good on you. Saud Santinish, to you, bit of a sneezing fit over there in central Portugal. Quite a spectacular storm here in Alcobaça this morning. We had a bit of that. Gary the cat was scared. I hope you gave Gary the cat an extra special petting this morning. It is amazing, Nuno. We're watching a storm rolling across the Gardunha Mountains towards us. Amazing this morning. So let me tell you a bit more about that then. That was the news about Portugal's. That's funny, James. Good morning to you. Top search in the US at the moment, how to be an expat. Right. Oh, excuse me. I think Poland was I snorted then. I think Poland was the only country where the top job desired was police officer. There in Poland. Interesting chart, huh? Do you want the link to that? I'll put it into the chat so you can have a look for yourself. In the top dream jobs, blogger was also in there. Doctor, I think back in the day, well, it's interesting, isn't it? You see youngsters, so I'll use that word as well, I sound like an old fart. They are using Google themselves. In the old days, it would have been more a matter of asking parents what they would like their children to be, right? And I suppose these might be parental searches as well. No, probably not if you end up with DJ, blogger, and YouTuber. Anyway, I wanted to be a lorry driver. Was it the Yorkie bars that you were attracted to, Pam? I like the little cabin. Oh, I don't do what Howard did. I just smoke more. Smoking more than Howard Marks is quite the claim there, Jackie. Although I can see a puff of smoke from here in Portugal coming up from your canal boat there. Oh, blimey. Intoxicating. Right. And where are we going to go? Oh, yeah. Depression Evo. And I've given you the link to that, haven't I? If you want to probe that some more. It's Remitly, I should say, as well. I picked it up in the Portuguese news, making it sound like an STD. No, the Portugal news featured it, obviously with a focus on Portugal, and they were reporting on Remitly's poll there, remitly.com. Thank you for doing that. Right, let's have a look at the weather generally. It's not the Spartan FX weather page this morning. We'll have Sarah from Spartan, her very self, at 20 past. Oh, gosh, I need to crack on. It's already 16 minutes past. Where does the time go? It seems to be speeding up. And have you spotted the little duck yet on my shrine of Portugal behind me? I think I might have to move him around on the screen. Okay, so let's go to the first weather screen I want to bring you. Oh, yeah, that's the general weather picture then for Portugal over at IPMA. And you can see a thick red line of weather warning for central and upwards in Portugal here. I better give you this as well, actually, the link to IPMA this morning. So it's a pretty serious thick red line of warning along the coast. And that would be on account of Evo. I will stop sharing that for a moment whilst sharing the link to it with you, and then tell you a little bit about a news release from the Institute, which tells us about a depression Evo. And I did see someone questioning why it is that storms have to have their own names these days. They were probably numbers before, were they not? Anyway, I don't remember that as a kid. Storms with names. You just had the great storm of one particular year. You didn't have a storm every week with a different name. Maybe that's why they do have to have names now, because there's so many of them. And a little bit of over-reporting. Let's be honest, a little bit of over-reporting, right, on this. A little bit of meteorological terrorism, you might call it as well. Things that we would have taken in our stride back in the day. Oh, the wind's got above 5 miles an hour. We better declare a storm warning. I think there's a bit of that going on, quite frankly. Anyway, enough of what I think. More of that later with the Portuguese at 7 o'clock this evening. Evo is the name given by IPMA to a depression that at 1800, that's UTC, on the 27th of January, was centered at approximately 46 degrees north. This is very specialized, isn't it? 42 west. And a central atmospheric pressure of 997 HPAs. What on earth are they? And is expected to travel across the Atlantic in a trough phase, moving eastwards. Quick cough. Depression Evo is expected to be centered in the Bay of Biscay region at midday, that would be, wouldn't it, on the 29th. So we're still in the middle of Evo, but with a secondary core close to the northwest of the Iberian Peninsula. That's what is of more concern to us. Horrible if you're out in the Bay of Biscay, though, right? Mainland Portugal is expected to feel the effects of the cold frontal surface. Oh, no one wants that first thing in the morning, with depression Evo from the early hours of the 29th of January. So Evo still incoming this evening and overnight, with precipitation that will sometimes be heavy in the north and centre regions, and which will gradually spread to the south, although decreasing in intensity. The wind will increase in intensity, blowing from the west-southwest, with gusts that could reach values of around 80 to 100 kilometers per hour on the west coast and highlands, turning to the north-northwest from mid-afternoon on the 29th and remaining strong. It sounds like the weather, the shipping forecast, doesn't it? And remaining strong until the end of the afternoon on the 30th inst. Precipitation is expected to occur in the form of snow at the highest points of the Serra da Estrela. My mother, when she first arrived in the UK in, I think, it must have been the early 60s, she used to listen to the shipping forecast. She was from the Far East. She is from the Far East. And she thought the shipping forecast sounded like a poem. Isn't that beautiful? And that, friends, is Depression Evo, which you need to watch out for. And I've got to tell you, excuse me, getting excited. Good morning, Doug, about the party that's going to be happening. Have I sent the link out? I don't think I've sent the link out, have I, to my colleagues who are joining me at 8:20. Sarah will be looking for all that now. And Marion will kill me. Is this what you call British efficiency, Carl? She will be giving me a hard time as well. So let me just send that link to Sarah. And where are you, Marion Geray of Walksperia? There's the link. Okay, hopefully they'll be able to find that and join us in just a moment. The other bit of news, uplifting news, something to look forward to. Yeah, morning, Dougie. Good to see you. Morning, all as well. You are issuing, Mr. Hughes, from there. Yeah, go and eat your lunch in the toilet, Dougie, if you don't like it. That was my blast across the Hughes bows yesterday. Something to look forward to then. This will be, and I have to turn the volume down. T-Duck's telling me this is very hot, very noisy. More about this after this lovely little intro, which I've been using as an outro for the show. Yes, that's right, Sarah Davie. That's how we like to start the day, isn't it? I saw you dancing in the green room there. She'll be on in just a moment. Actually, no, let's bring her onto the screen with me now so we can talk more about this. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Sarah Davie, everybody. Good morning. Sorry about this ungodly hour, Sarah.
Bon dia.
Bon dia to you. And we were going to wear Spartan onesies. That'll be next time, right?
Yeah, next time. Next time.
This early morning. Yeah, so thank you very much for being with me nonetheless here this morning and the Gumpers this morning. And hopefully on the 15th of February, which that was the promo for. It's a nice little disco tune, that, isn't it?
It was. I felt like I was on like the Jonathan Ross show, and they're playing, or maybe like, you come on to music like boxers do.
Yeah, yes. That's going to have to be our walk-on music then when we have to.
Yeah, everyone is going to need a song, really.
Yeah, well, that's all part of this, actually. We've got Alison, who's been making a playlist of songs she wants to dance to. She's a major part of this, actually. When I talked to her about having a party here in San Martino de Porto, James is pleased to see you. Speak up, James. When I talked to her about the idea of having a disco in San Martino, she's like, oh yes. She doesn't want to go to a nightclub at midnight, God only knows when the Portuguese go to nightclubs. They go out for dinner at 9. They go to a gig at 10 or 11, don't they? Midnight. So the nightclub must be like 3 a.m. for Portuguese, I would have thought.
Exactly.
Or is it 10?
It's crazy. It is a lot. Everything's a lot later, I must admit.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, would you find the right venue with playing the right kind of music? In fact, I've had this conversation with a number of people, mainly expats. They'd be like, where would you go?
Yeah, I don't know what they play. I saw in as I was going near Óbidos the other day, I think it was called the Padaria, like the bakery disco, and it said Danceteria in a very 70s, 80s sort of way. And I haven't been to a nightclub in Portugal. I haven't been to a nightclub for decades, it feels like.
I don't know if it's the same in America, but were we talking about this, Carl? Like when I was growing up, we always had parties. Birthday, people's
we
wedding
were talking about this. Yes.
And in sort of I don't know what kind of venue really, to be honest, but yeah, there'd be a buffet, there'd be music, everybody would dance.
Yeah.
My parents had a 40th wedding anniversary end of 2023, and they rented like a room, and very much like that. Yeah. Everybody was up dancing. It's talked about event even still now, because they've said we've not been up dancing like this in years because there's nowhere to go.
That, Sarah, is the vibe I'm looking for, and not at 2 a.m. This will probably be starting around 7 for the expat old giffers, myself included. And we will have a little bit of entertainment. We're going to have a bit of live music to get the party started and a few jokes. Colin's going to do a few jokes, and then probably something like ABBA's Dancing Queen or Earth, Wind and Fire September or the Jackson 5's I Want You Back will drop, signifying the start of the disco, and women like Alison who've longed for this moment, and this kind of, it's a safe space in a way as well, isn't it? To drop the handbag, middle of the dance floor, stilettos off, boom, on there for the next hour or so. And then, you know, I had thought of calling it Hernia's disco, the Greek god of disco dancing, Hernia.
But that doesn't sound right.
And maybe having paramedics.
I was thinking, are people going to have a hernia? Or like,
well, if we can have osteopaths and paramedics standing by to just pop those things back in. So don't let that put you off. But I'd love that. And I don't know if it's a global phenomenon, but you're absolutely right. You know, as a kid, I remember going to 18th birthday parties, 21st birthday parties, wedding receptions. And it's that vibe, isn't it? With a buffet or a dinner dance. Back in the day, a dinner dance, a company would put on a dinner dance at Christmas, and there would be a DJ, and there'll be popular.
I think it's just cost, to be honest, and venue, because I don't know whether those venues sort of types of things still exist. So you're talking about hotels, and the cost is very expensive. So maybe that's the death of them.
It could be. Now, I thought we were going to be hiring a room. There's a beautiful room in a hotel in San Martino de Porto, which is the Albergaria São Pedro. And it has a beautiful room, one of the best kept secrets in San Martino, I think, where you've got a view of the bay. It's their breakfast room. And I was thinking this would make a fantastic function room. And he does want quite a lot of money to hire it. And then I talked to his son. Me and Terence Austin were in the cocktail bar, which is part of the hotel. And we talked to the son who runs the cocktail bar. I said, well, why don't you have it in here? I'm going to be getting rid of the big snooker table. You can set up over here as a DJ. We'll do a bit of karaoke as well, by the way. And I've got those big speakers over there. You can use those. So he's letting us use the cocktail bar. And we've basically got the place to ourselves from around 7 o'clock on the 15th of February. It's Valentine's weekend. Why not come to San Martino de Porto for the whole weekend? I've got a page on the website. I'll put the link to it in the chat, and figure out some accommodation so you can have a drink if you like to have a drink and a dance, and then stay the night and then make your way home on the next morning. I think it could be a fabulous weekend, and I'm hoping the start of many. But I mean, how does that sound to you?
Well, I was thinking that, you know, if it goes well, and especially if the venue, it's not expensive like the other place, well, this could be a regular, you know, once a quarter thing.
I think it should be. I think it should be once a quarter, and then maybe once a month. Not once a week, folks. That could be a little bit too intense. I think, quite possibly. And we can have new DJ names, like not Fat Boy Slim, but Old Boy Slim, maybe, or Old Boy Slightly Tubby. You know, we can recreate our own scene.
There might be somebody with that skill set. I was at this. There's a new restaurant opened in Cascais, and it's sort of Asian. Yeah. And they had a DJ playing some music, and it was a older guy. He's obviously come to retire, and they've pulled him out of retirement.
There are loads of old farts who love DJing.
You know, you may find.
Yeah, I think we will. We've got the Portuguese. We've got Gavin. We've got Terence himself. We've got a great bunch of people who are up for this. And come and meet them. We've got people coming down from Porto. The Blisses are coming down from Porto. Michael and Cheryl, I think, are coming down. We might have Clive coming up from the south in the Algarve. He's from the music scene, the British dance music scene from the 80s. Got some very cool people coming. And let's see what happens on the 15th. So please join us, and I hope we'll have a lot of fun then. Sorry, Sarah, to take up most of the slot that you've come to be with us about, talking about dancing and partying. But I guess that's a fairly good excuse, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And certainly probably a bit more entertaining. Well, I don't know. I'd say entertaining, but than the week we had last week.
Well, yes, let's talk then about, we have been looking at the Spartan FX weather. And often I say weather and currency are very similar because they're very changeable. Has that been the case? in this last week. And today, I mean, there's been a massive tech drop, I think, in stocks, hasn't there? Stock market, because of a Chinese AI announcement. What's going on?
Well, I mean, obviously, when Trump was announced that he was going to be president, then we obviously saw a great move in selling US dollars and buying euros in your favor if you're moving to Portugal, which is fantastic. And even coming in last week, I mean, he has announced a lot of things. There is some things, obviously, they do talk about that Trump could be good for the economy. So there are positives behind a lot of some of the stuff that he might want to do that would be good basically for the US economy and therefore the US dollar, which is where we saw the US dollar strengthening. But I think what's interesting, and it's going to be a really interesting 4 years, is that we've got to remember what actually the things that move the market. So yes, there's data, like we look at inflation data, we look at interest rate announcement, but actually what can move markets is really just comments, even offhand comments from officials from the central banks and important political figures, for example, Trump. Now, Trump's words are very closely watched, and any sort of comment can really have such a big effect. Right. So as soon as he opens his mouth, everyone's sort of bated breath as to what's he going to say and how's that going to impact us. And a prime example is really if we talk about tariffs, for example. Now, straight away, sort of putting tariffs up across the board, sort of, for example, in the EU. Then he came out and said, well, basically, if the EU buy more US gas, then they'll lower the tariffs. So that was actually positive and seen as a positive. So again, sort of it depends, obviously we've got expectations, we've got things that he said, is then whether he can carry through with a lot of the things he said and to what degree. Because obviously some of the things that he signed and did doesn't automatically mean they'll happen. Things he wants to do, there some things he have to go through procedures, which obviously he's very not happy about, and obviously trying to remove those roadblocks like last time. But again, as I said, one comment, he wants to raise tariffs. Another comment strengthens the US dollar. Another comment saying that he could reverse that if countries do X, Y, and Z, and that's strengthened euro, for example, which is where we've seen a little bit of rebound in the exchange rate. So, from sort of the beginning of last week, it's about 6,000 US dollars more expensive to buy euros. So I think that the takeaways are that, there could be a lot of volatility either way, because we just don't know how this is going to play out. Yes, we have moved away from the exceptional rates that we saw sort of last week. But ultimately, at the moment, again, historically, the levels, we're still at very good levels. Apart from the peaks that we saw, we're still at sort of good levels in the last 2 years. So it's not doom and gloom, but it's important to be watching the rates, think about your budgets. As soon as we see anything that's really exceptional, it may be worthwhile thinking about buying some euros, fixing that rate for any future payments that you have, again, just to help budget and manage. Because, as I said, equally, as much as, there's a lot of talk about how Trump could be good for the US dollar, some of the things he does could have negative effects on, sort of raising inflation, trade wars, all sorts of things that could happen, or whether again he could follow through with it, which might not strengthen the US dollar.
So can I take from that? Do excuse me, honestly. Okay, I hope my voice has recovered from my DJing career, the relaunch of my DJing career on the 15th of February. Do I take from that then that it's an important time to keep watching, because there is some volatility built in to the current setup, scenario, context, and as we stand, it is a pretty good time to be looking at changing dollars and pounds into euros.
Well, yes, exactly. And as we've seen, Trump is a very unpredictable character. And I think it's just the case of, if you think about it in advance, you have more options. So, for example, if I was moving euros, buying euros, and someone said to me, right, next week you need to make a payment, then all I'm restricted with is now till next week. That's my time frame of the exchange rate. And whatever the exchange rate is, I have to take it because I have a payment next week. That's then the reality. Whereas if, for example, I thought about this a little bit more in advance, and the rates obviously, as soon as he came in, were very good, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll buy my euros then for that payment next week, it might be cheaper. So again, it's just getting people to think about it earlier than when you get, that need to make a payment.
Okay, all right. So
options and control.
Options and strategies if people open an account with you, as in Spartan FX, and then they can keep an open line to traders at Spartan FX, and have strategies and do things when the timing is right on a personal basis. It is going to be very interesting seeing the impact of DeepSeek on. Oh, this is the Chinese AI that bombed the markets, which are recovering now, I think, in these last few hours. DeepSeek on the US dollar, it has smashed the stock exchange in the last 24 hours. There is some recovery there, though, isn't there? And Coach Turner with a rather cynical comment, wonder who shorted the US tech stocks in the last few days. Dare you answer that question as well, Coach Turner, as well as casting that rather large aspersion into the comments this morning. Good morning to you. Well, excellent, Sarah. Marion's joining us soon with ear massage. Are you staying for that?
I do fancy that, to be honest. Marion has been wonderful. The tapping was very good. That really relaxed me. What I found is that we started the session of tapping. I thought, I feel quite relaxed. And then I could visibly see by the end, my shoulders started here, and then they just dropped. It just felt so much more relaxed.
I think I had to be carried away by a team. I had relaxed so much in my chair that Mrs. M had to call in the neighbours and carry me through to the bedroom to lie down for a bit. So more of that. And when I was thinking of ear massage, I recalled that picture of you, and I thought for a moment you had elf ears.
Oh, yes.
There is a picture of you on the internet with elfish ears, isn't there?
Do miss them. I need another excuse to be wearing them so that you can be wearing them down the street.
Well, that surgery can be reversed at any time.
Reversed at any time.
Probably a very good value here in Portugal as well. Before Marion joins us, do you want to say anything about your possible social media blogging career?
Yes.
Care to talk about that at the moment? I don't want to put you on the spot or any pressure, but I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, I decided that I've moved here to Portugal, and we talk about me being here and my experience and things like that. So I thought maybe I should start my own sort of blog or YouTube just to share some of that. I travel up and down the country to visit people. It could be that I could give a little bit of a showcase of some of the areas in Portugal. Again, I don't know if anyone would be interested in listening to it or watching it, but I thought I would give it a go and see if people would be interested.
Wonderful.
Oh, if it could be helpful in any way, with people's move. Again, I'm not an expert in, how do you get your visa? How do you do that? That you use an expert, because I did. But, if I can help on any sort of some of the day-to-day things, I think that's sometimes I found moving here. And that's sort of the next step of it's the little things once you're here on the ground, sort of in your area, how do I go to the doctors, or what's my experience, with this, that sort of thing, I think is day-to-day living.
And personal experience, that's really great, isn't it? And as you say, the dream team and any number of professionals associated with our community can tell you and show you how to do the thing professionally. But it's the personal insight, isn't it? The things that you find out, like how good the paramedics are at Continent, for example.
Exactly. Well, talking about wellness, I had a small accident in the car park after I bought my groceries, and I thought, and I was in a rush, so I thought I'd go back in and buy plasters. But at this point, the blood's pouring down my hands.
Really?
It's not too serious. It just looked worse than it was.
A major public incident was declared in Estoril.
And I thought, I don't think the person that me wondering about the supermarket would be ideal. And then I saw the customer service desk, and I thought, they're back. They should have first aid in the supermarket.
Yeah.
So went up, Olá Bom Dia, and I was like, can you help me? And like, she looked, and then the four of them looked, and it was like, once the shock had passed, they're like, oh, they all jumped into action. They're disinfecting the finger, they're bandaging me up. They were brilliant. Really nice.
Well, that's quite a good. You see, this is exactly the sort of thing that might be on your blog or your channel. This is a life hack, isn't it? If you find that A&E is too busy, just go, just go
to the customer service.
Yeah. How long until there are stretchers outside Continent and customer service?
Well, the thing is, I suppose if you're on their grounds, they're responsible. I mean, you know, you could sue them if they think that you're that you've encountered that accident in their supermarket. So maybe they have a, you know, invested interest to help you.
Yeah, and probably so many people are Bombeiros volunteers as well. Oh, and there's news of a first aid course. Our friend Jenny Lowe's over this way is doing a first aid course, so I'll bring details of that in the coming days.
No, that's not a bad idea. I mean, one of my friends, she did the, you know, it teaches you to sort of put you in the recovery position and things like that. And I think it's a good thing to have.
Sounds like our party again, doesn't it? On the 15th of. Hopefully nobody will need to be put in the recovery position. But it could be a fantastic night. And Peter, I think they probably didn't use the Christmas wrapping paper for your finger, right, Sarah? They had and a quick question for you before Marion joins us with some lovely ear massage. I've got a feeling she's going to say, friends, Romans, Gumpers, lend me your ears, and then we'll start massaging our ears. But question for Sarah. Oh, and suggestion. He's the old guy in Europe, and he's suggesting you call your channel a young gal in Europe. And a question for you. So would it be a good strategy to move money into my Spartan FX account to hold a hodler of currency until the rate becomes more to my favor? What do you reckon?
Absolutely, we can do that. That's not a problem. I mean, you don't have to necessarily. We can still buy the rate, hold it, and then you move your money. It depends where your money is as well. You know, for if you've got deadlines, then yes, that's probably worthwhile because we move the money very quickly. But that's the other side of it is that people don't think about it, and then all of a sudden your bank's taking a few days to clear that payment or transfer that payment, or they're making it a bit difficult for you to make that payment. If you're holding your money in higher interest rate earning accounts, then maybe you want to keep it there a bit longer. Although our accounts are like bank accounts, they're not interest earning. So what you can do is then when the rates are buy it and then move your money, or we have a facility where you can fix the rate and we only need 10%. It's not a cost or a charge. It fixes the rate. Then you pay the remaining 90% when you need the money. But that means you can keep 90% in those higher interest earning accounts if you need to as well. So there's a few different options. It's probably best just for us to understand what's your situation, where is your money at the moment, and understand how difficult or quickly it can be moved.
There you go, James. If you want to know more, James, well, I think you know what to do, James. You can just call Spartan FX office, as you know. You have your own broker there, I'm sure, dealer. And if you want to know more about Spartan, go to goodmorningportugal.com, support services, and hit that currency-exchange tab. Sarah, you're sticking around, right? Because we're going to massage our ears now, I think. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Marion Geray, everybody. Olá Bom Dia.
Olá, bom dia, Sarah, Carl, hi.
Good to see you, Marion. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, and we associate you, as Sarah was saying. It's like an anchoring. When we see your face and are in your company, we already feel relaxed because of the tapping and the conversations we've had before. So it's a great head start to see you. And I mentioned that I may or may not have had to been carried out the studio last time you were on. I was in such a state of deep relaxation. And today you are going to be doing, I think the technical term is auricular massage, right, of the ears.
Ear massage. That's what I would like to do with you together.
Yes.
And but it's just, I'm here 2 minutes already, and so it's always a challenge for me to come from Sarah's topic to my topic. No,
it is a bit of a crunch. It is a bit of a crunch, isn't it? From currency. Well, we were talking about first aid, and we were talking about first aid of the body. Now to first aid of the spirit, perhaps. Is that a good transition?
We could say that we the team do try to make it less stressful. So
yes, absolutely.
that really, we're one element of your move that we're trying to make less stressful. And then Marion's trying to make you less stressed overall with everything
Yes.
you've
Okay.
got going on.
And how about one of these? Let me just bless everyone with some Reiki tinkles. That helps as well, doesn't it? I think.
Yes.
I
Coffee
can
helps
feel,
as well.
and a bit of coffee. My chakras are tingling already, so I think
Cafe is always helpful.
yes.
It's let me try one line. You know, if we talk about
What?
money and investment, what
Yeah.
to do with all our money and where to invest. Thanks to Sarah, we have now a clear picture.
Yeah.
I assume this is all future oriented, right?
Yes,
So we talk about, how much can I get? How much is my win, my return on investment, etc. pp. This is all future. And the question is, do you want to stay in all these future things with all the choices? You know, then you end up one day with the overload of choices, and then your mind is full, but you are not mindful.
Well, yes, agreed. I mean, there are the practicalities to take care of in life, aren't they? Money's very important, but
Exactly.
are you suggesting we have it in balance, perhaps?
In balance, but also always recheck on yourself. In which state are you right now?
Yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, you might say.
Yeah. And I know our minds are all very full, and we are having lots of choices. And also, people are living in the past, you know, especially the Portuguese. They are telling me constantly how the problem started 100 years ago, you know, and then they need lots of time to explain it. And then I said, okay, so but we would like to be in the now. How can we do that? You know,
Wow.
disconnect from the past and disconnect from the future, just to do something here. And a good disconnection of this for your mind is a massage, because you have everything here. And this
Into
is
the
part
body.
of, and this is part of the body, you know, and part of the Qigong practice.
I feel better already. And I do want to ask you about that thing. Then the Portuguese psychology, perhaps that's a thing you've noticed, is it, culturally, that people want to go back into the past, the pain of the past? It's a saudade sort of thing in a way, isn't it?
It is definitely, and it's also especially in Portugal. It's the cultural thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You know, have you shown the antidepressiva which people take all over the world?
Yes. When you said where did this data come from? When I saw that it was from Elon Musk, I thought, okay, well, probably might need to get a bit of balance on that. But our world in data does show even a more sobering picture, actually, of the amount of antidepressant use in Portugal. It is quite, you know, with all the great things we can say about the country, we can also note that antidepressant use, pharmaceutical, that is, we rate quite highly in the world tables, it would appear, by most measures or any look at that particular picture.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't say Qigong is supporting or taking away your depression. Not at all. You need a psychological support.
Yes.
But Qigong is very good for prevention.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to take care of prevention, and we can do a lot of things by ourselves.
Yes, and you make a very good point that living too much in the future, or the past for that matter, you've mentioned both things, living in the past, living in the future, it, you know, does not help us if we are there too much of the time, right?
Exactly. So as long as you are aware of that, you know, awareness is the most important thing. And we need to recheck again. You have to live in the future. You have to say, shall I leave him or shall I stay here? You know, shall I go to Portugal? What about my money? You know, so you have to live in the future as well. And you have to recheck in the past, in the history, to also to understand the future again. You know, it's all connected. It's not, oh, I only want to be in me, and you know, all these people who say, oh, you know, I'm enjoying myself, I'm in the now with me and I'm happy. You know, this sounds also a little bit of selfish, right? Because you are never by yourself. You always have to have the connection to the people and to anyone. So
well, it's a great thing to consider, isn't it? Are my thoughts dominated by either the past or the future in a way that impedes my enjoyment of the moment? I guess that's the ongoing process of humanity, is it not?
Exactly. This is like, the analysis, though. So Sarah's part is more the young part, the heaven, the future, the activity, or where to spend my money, how to make more money. Do I have a proper job? Shall I change the job to get more money? This is more the young world. But we need the balance for the yin world, which is the earth, which grounds us and centers us, and just stay here for the moment and reflect. Is that all okay? Just to have the balance.
It's amazing. We're going from Sparta Yang FX to Marion Geray. See what I did there?
I agree, though. I think it's important because sometimes, moving country and being here, there's elements of it can be quite overwhelming. There's a lot to think about, a lot to consider. And sometimes you've just got to, I think, not even moving to Portugal, but in your own life, is just take a moment. There's like some books that you get that, maybe for 10 minutes, you just write down, what you're thankful for or what has been good today, and just remind yourself, like, for example, in Portugal, actually, the weather is lovely. I'm sat in a beautiful place. I'm very lucky, and kind of put that a little bit into perspective. That's what I try and do.
Well done. Excellent. Yeah. This is turning out beautifully, Marion, and we haven't even touched our ears yet.
Yeah. So we touch our ears. Are you ready?
Carl, well, I've got a slight problem here, as you can see.
I see.
We can't see your ears, Carl.
So you don't have my... Okay, so first of all, for everyone, I just read...
One ear. Okay. Is that all right? Can I do one? Okay.
So, yes, that's fine.
I feel very vulnerable like this and naked.
We need to take off our jewelries. It's important. The earrings, if there are some with earrings, that's why I didn't put them in. Ear massage is very recommendable for doing in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, because it's activating. In our ears, we have all organs are represented. It's like the foot. Yes. Everybody knows the foot reflexology massages, but the ear massage is seldom, present. You cannot book it. Mm-hmm. So, however, I would like to start. You take your thumb and your pointer and massage the outside of your ear. It's hard with my...
If you've just tuned in, it's just us massaging our ears. And also, Marion is very gifted. Marion can see if you're doing this at home.
Can you see me? Because you're on my phone. So now you're at your ear lump.
On the lobe now. We're massaging the lobe.
Yes. Yeah. And now we take our middle finger and go inside our ear.
Oh, I say. Right. Inside the ear, just in all the little wrinkles and folds there.
Yes. Oh, okay. It's like cleaning. You clean your ears with the middle finger. This is only warm up.
This is just the warm up. This is just the warm up. Sorry, you had your finger in there.
It's a warm up, and then you take your 3 fingers and put it on your.
Nunu's gonna like that. Okay.
Yeah, and then the ring finger, which is the lower part. You take this point, this is the gallbladder, and you massage.
That's just by the outside of the ear, yeah?
Yes, outside. We are outside now, yeah. And now we massage a few times, 9 times, if possible, to one side.
Yeah. Oh.
And then you massage, you change the direction and massage to the other side.
Oh, my word. How's this going, Sarah?
Interesting.
Right.
Okay. We always massage with the middle finger. And then we go to the upper part, this part here. How do you call that in English? It is in the middle of the ear, still outside.
What is it in German? What's the name of that in German?
It's a kind of Knöchelchen.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
So also 9 times to the back.
Ooh, 9 times. Why 9?
9 is connected to the yang, to the heaven, and we are on the upper part of the body, Okay. And 8 is yin, it's the earth.
Oh, I see.
Everything with the feet, what we do is 8 times. Okay, so now we go up where your ear starts from the head. This point. Yeah. Can you see that?
Yes, I can. Yeah, and we're giving that a bit of a wiggle too. But we've got a lot of hecklers here. Portuguese and Pete. Just give it a go.
Okay, you change direction.
Oh, are you going to make us do this and like a monkey in a minute?
No, I don't do it because it's my hair. You know, I want you to see
Okay.
the points and the
All right.
direction. So you change direction here as well.
Okay.
And then you go with your finger, with your 2 fingers,
Yeah.
down the bone behind your ear. Do you see that? Do you feel that bone here? And you just massage up and down a little bit. This is the triple warmer, the upper body.
Ooh. I mean, who knew, right? That there was so much going on here. This is a part of our bodies. We might just give them a wash in the morning, but we don't give them
And
this.
if you go down, you will find a little valley just behind your ear lump. You feel that?
Right. Yeah.
There's a valley, and now you massage the valley.
Ooh. These are places that may not have been attended to for some time, right?
No. Change direction.
My arm's aching now, though. Is that normal?
Yeah, we change now. Thank you, Carl. This is a good point. We change direction. We go to the other side.
Right. Okay.
And we start again the outside of the ear. Of course, we can do it at the same time, but I wanted just to be clear what we are doing.
It's a good look, either at Continent or on the bus, isn't it?
So the outside of the ear, exactly. Very good. And this
now,
already...
Mrs. M can't do this at the moment. She's got a sore ear. And I don't know if you've got a view on this, Marion, but...
You go inside now? Yeah, sorry. You go
side
inside.
the side of her head where the ear in question is the one that faces me. So when we're driving, it's that ear. And when we're in bed, it's... Why has she got a sore ear on the side where I am?
What do you think? What do you think, Carl?
You don't have to answer that. Okay,
okay, you go to your lobe here.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go inside.
Yeah, you're right, Portuguese. Animals are very natural, aren't they? Animals do love this, don't they?
Okay.
Remember to wash your hands afterwards. Okay.
And then we go to the 3 points.
Yeah.
And massage the lower point first. And you can apply some pressure. It's an acupressure massage. It's not a petting, you can put some efforts here. And then the middle point. And it's a pity next time we should show the points, but they're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mel's enjoying it. That feels amazing. Obrigada. You see,
you go to the
fellas
other
are just
side.
heckling. The ladies are getting involved, I think. Here.
You go down.
Yeah.
You go down the
the
little bone, and
bone.
I've just shortened it a little bit and go in the valley.
Yeah.
You see the valley. You find the valley. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Got that.
9 times again, each direction. And now we take the 2 fingers each side and we massage like this. We rub our ears outside.
How did that? You just had a load of confetti coming down there.
I don't know who gave the confetti.
Is that what happens when you're doing it right? You get confetti on the screen.
Of course. That's your treat. I don't know what happened.
Does it happen in real life, or is it just on the screen?
It was on the screen. I thought it was you.
It wasn't me. No, that is spooky.
So, Carl, of course, we do the ear massage without talking. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Forgive
you breathe at the same time. Now, I would like to take the middle finger into our ear, and we produce a little bit of an under pressure. Just rub it inside, and then you just flip it out like this. You have to take, one more time.
Couldn't hear you then. Okay.
And take it out like this.
Right.
One more time.
Oh,
Not
really?
finished. One more time. And out. Okay.
That is invigorating.
So feel inside your ear, in your head. What is it doing now, Carl?
So, my ears are alive. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. This is when I was training as a massage therapist, I realized that my body was just an idea to me. And then when you give attention to your body, mindfulness, proper attention, you realize that all of the parts of your body are actually alive. They're not just sort of physical assets that you call upon from time to time. They're there serving us all the time, and we give them so little respect in a way, and that's a beautiful way to respect the ears this morning.
Yeah.
And they're alive. They're alive. My ears are alive now.
Yeah.
I
I feel a bit energized.
Yes.
I was thinking, I mean, I still have that coffee, but I thought, I could do with the coffee now. I'm like,
Very good. But you feel the sensation and the vibration, the blood is circulating.
Absolutely.
And you had a good disconnection from anything else. We just had 5 minutes of nice ear massage together, and it's great. And it's all here, it's cheap. You can do it anywhere.
It's free,
anyone can do it. And it's a good prevention also, because this point here is the palace of the ear. It's good against tinnitus.
Yes, which it seems more and more people struggle with. So that's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
How lovely, Marion. Thank you so much. Before we go, which we need to now, that's really wonderful. It's always great having you here with us. And thank you for being with us on this, what has become Wellbeing Tuesday, really. Financial and spiritual and emotional well-being and physical well-being. The coach isn't far away. He's always taking care of us on that level as well. It's absolutely wonderful, and we'll do more of this. What's going on with Walksperia? What have you got planned? If people really want to get into this deep dive, be residential with you, what have you got planned this year?
I have now split the coaching and the Qigong business model. Yes, right. And now we have Silver Coast Qigong available. And I have in-person classes in Caldas da Rainha.
Yes.
And at PDR.
Right. What's
Praia
that?
del Rei, it's
oh yes, very nice. Very beautiful.
It is even more far. So one day I will have Carl in my class, maybe in Caldas. Please be my guest.
I would love to do that. No, seriously, something's going on. We've got Tai Chi happening in San Martino de Porto. The harmonizing of the chakras is beginning all around the country, and James's ears are alive with the sound of music. So you're still doing your workshops though, and people can come along if they go to Walksperia. That's a .org, is it? .com, I beg your pardon. Walksperia.com.
Yes. I have two retreats coming up in May for the mental spring cleaning, which will be in the mountains, and I have the October autumn clarity in Óbidos, by the Lagoa.
Oh, what fantastic locations you've chosen there. The heart of Portugal in Central and by the lagoon there in Óbidos. That is a fabulous place to be. And Praia del Rei, what a lovely place to choose as well for doing your Qigong classes. Marion, thank you very much indeed. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. It's quite interesting because it's the paradox of dynamism and awakeness, but also feeling quite relaxed in that. It's not a stressful energeticness, is it? It's a nice, calm, mindful, energetic that you've brought to us this morning, Marion. So thank you very much indeed, both of you. Looking forward to the next time we meet on the screen. Have a great day, both. And everyone else who tried that this morning, let us know how you get on. Take care. Nice big round of applause, and we shall see you again soon. Ciao, ciao.